We are moving on from adding and subtracting integers to multiplying and dividing integers. And I have already told you that multiplying and dividing integers will go much faster and smoother because there are definite rules that go with each. So here's a little chart that kind of helps you to see what those answers are and how easy it is. So basically, if two numbers, and if you're multiplying or dividing, it does not matter which one. If both numbers have the same signs, then you're going to have a positive answer. So if you have two positives, you're going to have a positive answer. If you have two negatives, you're going to have a positive answer. If you have different signs, so if you have one of each, if you have a negative and a positive, and you're multiplying, you're going to have a negative answer. And if you're dividing a positive and a negative, you're going to have a negative answer. So one of each, negative answer, both the same, positive answer. That's simple. So for example one, Lisa owes $2 to her friends, or sorry, $2 each to 6 friends. What integer represents Lisa's debt? Well, the first key word here that we need to pay attention to is owes. If I owe, that means I am in negative. So negative $2 each to 6 friends. So we have to do this 6 times. So negative 2 times 6. Well, I have one of each, so that means I'm going to have a negative answer, and 2 times 6 is 12. So this means that Lisa is $12 in debt, and negative 12 is the integer that represents that debt. For example 2 here, we have to do negative 8 times 12. Well, I know 8 times 12 is 96, and then if I go back and look, I have a negative times a positive, so that means I'm going to have a negative answer, one of each. Example 3, a crack in the water tank leaks 7 gallons of water each hour. After 9 hours, what is the change in volume of the water in the tank due to the leak? Well, keyword here, leaks, that means it's coming out. That means it's going down. That means it's a negative number. So negative 7 each hour, so 7 gallons each hour. And we know this happens for 9 hours. So 9 different times, 7 gallons have leaked out. So I have negative 7 times 9. And I know 7 times 9 is 63. And a negative times a positive, so I have one of each. That means I'm going to have a negative answer. So what is the change? We have lost 63 gallons. So negative 63 gallons is our change. Example 4, Rosa is at the top of a climbing wall. She descends 48 feet of the wall in 6 equal stages. What number represents the change in Rosa's position at each stage? So another vocab term, descends. That means we go down. So down is negative. So we have negative 48. And we're going to do this in 6 equal stages. And they want to know each stage distance. So we're going to have to divide by 6. And 48 divided by 6 would be 8. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So each position, she went down 8 feet. Or after each stage, she went down 8 feet. Example 5, 54 divided by a negative 9. Well, 54 divided by 9 is 6. And a positive divided by a negative is a negative. And then our last example here, a glider descends 240 meters in 12 seconds. What is the average change in elevation per second? So again, there's that descend, which means goes down. So down 240 in 12 seconds. What is the average change per second? So I want to divide this by 12. So 240 divided by 12 would be 20. And a negative divided by a positive, so I have one of each, so that's going to be a negative. So the glider is descending 20 meters every second, so going down 20 every second. So one kind of example I didn't put in here would be, let's say, a negative 2 times a negative 6. 2 times 6 would be 12. And a negative times a negative is a positive, so that answer would be positive 12. Same thing works out for division. If I did 36 and I wanted to divide that by 3, negatives, both negatives, 36 divided by 3 would be 12, and 2 negatives make a positive answer when I divide.